Hello, my loves. Welcome back to MonAndU. We are doing a collective message. For those of you who skipped the first couple of minutes, that was very impromptu. I usually do all of that stuff off camera. And when I got here, I just felt like, okay, let's all do this together. I'm going to move this here so we can see our beautiful triple goddess. Okay, if you guys can't tell, I feel a little uneasy, and I may have a little bit of tech issues with like lag, or maybe not, because it looks like everything just kind of finished up perfectly. I just finished filming Cancer's reading, and I had this one right on deck because I had the messages literally just bombard me with this one. But I sat in this energy alongside Cancerian's energy, and once I got Cancer's energy cleared, I was able to really tap into the collective energy. And I have seen enough TikToks lately, and I've seen enough out in the world, and I've been feeling it myself. My kids are feeling it. There is a tense energy flowing through the collective ever since that lunar eclipse, which was absolutely beautiful. Like the first week after the lunar eclipse, everything felt very magical in my life. Everything felt very light and airy. And then all of a sudden, the week of the solar eclipse, and it is a full 180. Everything is heavy. There's the Schumann resonance is going up and down, and there's chaos everywhere. But there's this restless feeling that I am getting. And I was driving out to pick up my stepson from school because he goes to school about 20 minutes outside of town, or so, maybe about 10, 15 minutes outside of town. But that's neither here nor there. I was on my way to pick him up, and I was looking out, and I have to go down this hill and back up. And at the bottom of the hill, there's this farmstead here. And then there's just like this open kind of downhill with a bunch of trees on the other side. And I got this overwhelming, uneasy sense of like spirits and this feeling of restlessness, like they're waiting for something, or they're trying to help us right now and we're not connecting. And I don't know necessarily if it's one way or the other, or if it's kind of both of the energies all at the same time. But this is what I keep feeling. And I'm seeing 4:44 on the clock. And again, I just feel very much like I felt this way with the last collective reading. Like I did Taurus's reading, and then I did the next collective reading that came in, and those two were tied together. And now I'm doing Cancer. I did Cancer's reading and this one, and they feel very tied together as well. We're going to be working with just 2 oracle cards. I have 4 different like sections of this message that I was shown me addressing individually. I'm not going to break it up into timestamps. These are consistent messages. The only timestamp that you should see in the description box is between the intro cleansing and then the message itself. So the decks I'm working with are Ray Serafina Barker's. She's on Etsy. I'm not like, what do you call it? Affiliated? Essentially, I don't make money from doing this, but I love her. I love her work. I love her work. And every deck she comes out with, I am so quick to be like, I'm here for it. I strongly recommend her stuff. If you guys feel any resonance with them at all, like check her stuff out. It's amazing. Anyway, so I'm going to go into the channeled messages, and these all came through yesterday. It doesn't mean that the energy wasn't here before that, because I definitely felt the energy before, but yesterday afternoon I sat down at 12:25. It was March 25th, 2025, 12:25. So a multitude of the number 25, which reduces to a 7, but I feel like 25 itself is important as well. I don't know beyond that. I got collective message and literally exactly the 4 categories Spirit wanted to address: restlessness, Spirit rising, the solar eclipse, and the call. Nothing beyond those. So I'm just going to read through it, and then we're going to separate these. So it says, there were messages coming from all areas, yet all seem unexpected as the buildup intensifies. getting gateways, pathways, doorways, and then time for passage. And then I heard spirits lighting up the collective through earth energy and calling. And then I saw a heart beating, and then saw like ancient people beating drums. Some of them with their hands, some of them had like sticks. And there was this almost like they were from different civilizations, different times, different peoples, and completely disconnected from one another, but all simultaneously were doing this exact thing at this exact time, no matter whether it was night or day or anything like that. All of them throughout the world were doing this one thing at this one time in the ancient world, in ancient times, well before we would know. Before the time of paintings and words, there was spirit, energy, and that was the form that we communicated. We felt our way through everything, and thus we felt the call when the earth began to pulse. And then I heard a pulse synchronization. So when the earth began to pulse, the ancients all simultaneously matched their rhythm to the pulsation in order to, and now I can't answer that. It's not that I can't see it, but there are no descriptor words that I'm allowed to use or that I can use. I can see it, but I can't. It's their form of communication. So our form of communication does not always translate. What I can give you is that there was this time of pulse synchronization. This is a time many times ago where the earth spoke, the land listened, man honored. And I'm getting something about tradition. It's almost like it's a spell. I'm getting tradition, but I don't have context to it. It's things set in motion coming to light now. Wow. Okay. So after I got the pulse synchronization, I had this vision, and it was the earth. And it was like the earth from space, like we've seen pictures of and videos of and whatnot. The earth as it's seen from space, but the earth itself was darkened, as though there were no lights and no people on the earth. And it felt like the earth itself was slumbering, that it was still. And then I was seeing these tiny little pinpricks of dancing lights that began to shimmer and shine and pulsate. And then all of a sudden, some of them started streaking across the planet, and it actually started looking like the ley lines as they were moving through. So they looked kind of like that, but also kind of like shooting stars, like all over the earth, or like fireflies and sparkler trails. So I don't know if you guys know what I mean by that. You know the fireworks sparklers where you light them and then you move it, and the light is slower than the motion that you have, so you can like write words with it, and you can slowly see the letters form as you move forward. That was kind of what I was getting. And again, that it was reiterated. The earth did not feel as though humanity was on it, but the lights that came on as the earth slumbered and was silent were the beacons for life to begin. And now I'm getting that pulse synchronization again, that pulse synchronization. And then that feeling of like synchronizing your energy to your heartbeat, synchronizing your heartbeat to your soul's rhythm, slowing everything down and aligning it all together is beating, beating, beating. Very interesting. And then I got this Okay, this message, it says, past and future can be both witnessed. The call of the present is to the light, to the dark, to be a light, to transform the journey through the forest. And the forest was emphasized. Do I know what any of this means? No idea. I will put it up on my community page because there is a symbol here that was drawn, and I got 4 energies and 4 messages. So that was the call to do 4 different messages. And it said, connected or separate, the choice is yours. 1, 2, 3, or all 4. The choice is the story the heart's confirmed. Follow, for you only know. And then I heard, let the soul share what it knows, ... And then I heard, there is more. There is more. And it was like very, very powerful, very firm, and no other context to it. And then I got this image, and I did my best to draw it. I'm not the greatest artist, but I got this image. And then I kept seeing waveforms. But the waveforms that I was seeing, I wanted to write down like sound waves. And I had a no, that's not it. And I was like, okay, is it light waves? No, that's not it either. So it's seeing waveforms, but not sounds that we can hear or light that we can see. Wow. Perfect timing. I usually do a background noise like feature on it so that you guys don't hear a whole lot of what's going on in the background because my dogs snore a lot and my cats mess around. But if you heard that beeping, that is my oven finishing up a clean cycle, literally 3 beeps. Nothing that it's sound we cannot hear and light we cannot see. Something more forgotten, remembered. So we're going to take a look. The first one that we're going to look at is the restlessness. We're going to get a shadow and a light. And then we're going to do spirit rising, the solar eclipse, and the call. And when we look at the shadows, I actually am going to use the guidebook because she does this kind of poetry, beautiful, just little excerpt that to me just speaks profoundly. And it adds another dimensional layer to the images and to the messages. Aha, Guardian. We've got the Guardian card here. So this is about our protection. So let's go into spirit and spirit guides. And I just saw the number 1441, mirroring inverted numbers kind of thing. Spirit, cosmos, energy, universe, ancients. Those here to help, to guard, to guide, to protect, illuminate. Please be with us, help us, and bring forth messages. All right. Restlessness. We have the Watcher. Immersion on the back. So the Watcher. The Watcher. It says, in a world that asks us to not see what we see, not know what we know, let your gaze be unflinching and clear. Don't listen when they tell you to close your eyes or blur the visions. You'll need to navigate the vast oceans and dark forests right there, guys, and distant horizons that are yours to discover in this life. Your Watcher knows the way. Okay, now, sometimes we can get this Watcher energy from outside of ourselves, and sometimes the Watcher is the observer. Sometimes the Watcher is within ourselves, and it's us kind of watching what's going on without involving ourselves. Trust what you know. Trust what you feel. Again, with the waveforms, because I'm seeing the waveforms with the Watcher, this is about allowing ourselves as a collective to understand that we all live in a reality that is built based off of our own perceptions, and each perception is a subjective experience and formation of what the world is. And we project that outwardly in order to create, in order to manifest, in order to live the life that we're meant to live and fulfill the promises of our souls, fulfill the contracts of our souls. And I see this light here on this Watcher card, and it looks like a house, but as soon as I turned, it looked like a lighthouse. So let's find out just just kind of the context of what the watcher is watching. What is the watcher watching that has the collective and the spirits feeling restless? What is this restlessness for the watcher? Is the watcher causing restlessness? What can we see and know? What can we see and know? What can we see and know? Thank you. We've got deep time on the back. Deep time. Gateway. My gosh. Oh man. If you guys have not noticed, there are these like excessive amounts of synchronicities and things there are things being illuminated that have been in the dark for so long. And when that happens, chaos can erupt. So the restlessness that we are feeling is that we are about to go through a gateway. And the thing is we had this partial solar eclipse coming up. We had a total lunar eclipse prior to it, a total lunar eclipse, super full blood moon, right to end the Western zodiacal year of 2025. And so we're moving into this new eclipse, this solar eclipse, and it actually is the first eclipse of the zodiacal year of 2025. So we have this gateway energy that we moved through with that lunar eclipse, a gateway that has the eclipse falling differently. We've got an opening eclipse, 2 middle eclipses, and then closing eclipse. And over time, we're going to be moving into a 5 eclipse zodiacal year. And now I'm not going calendar year. I am not going January to December. I am going from the spring or vernal equinox point until the next spring equinox point. So this is an entire zodiacal year, and it's in Western terminology, not sidereal, which means that we're following not the precession of the stars, but we're following with how the calculations are. Anyway, this is about us recognizing that we are in this shift, this gateway. And we've gone through these things before. I'm somebody who grew up in the Y2K generation. Like I was turned 13, I think, in somewhere in there. I was something like that in that area. I might have been 12 or 13 when the Y2K hullabaloo, that's the word I want to use, hullabaloo was happening. Everybody was panicking. The world is going to end. The world is going to end. The world is going to end. Same with Mayan calendar. People stop making things when they don't live anymore. Like, I'm sorry to say it that way, but the Mayans stopped making the calendar when the Mayans stopped existing. Time is going to end when it ends. And you know what? It is what it is, what it is, what it is. What are we going to do about it? Are we going to sit in the state of fear? Are we going to sit in the state of fear and watch the people who are bold and brave enough to walk through the gateway into a new life? Are we going to do that? Just stand by and watch them go forward into the life that we're meant to live as well? Or are we going to say, I'm going to watch those who are too fearful while I go through this gateway, I go through this passageway, I go through this change, this transition, because I believe in myself and my life. I'm ready for this change to happen. So I'm going to trust what I see, what I feel, what I know. I'm not going to trust the naysayers. I'm not going to trust the fearmongers. I'm not going to trust those with whatever, what have you. I'm going to trust my heart and my soul because they are my wisdom points and they are connected to a much higher source than what I can find in the physical world if I am not tapped in to what I can see within myself. So this is about the gateway, which actually, guys, I got to tell you, I've been feeling that restless energy. Today, I actually feel a kind of alleviation of it. And part of that is because we're sitting down and we're talking about it. The other part is because this puts it in your hands, how you want to navigate through it. it gives you your power back, whether you realized you may have given it away or not. When somebody says something and it elicits fear within you, and you're like, oh crap, you're saying, I don't have the power over my own destiny. I don't have the power over my own fate. I don't have the power to choose for myself, but you do. You have the choice. So walk through the gateway that you are being presented. Not all of us are being presented a gateway, not all of us are being presented the same gateway. The key to the gateway is sitting right there, right in the front of the passageway to make your way to the door, which means if you keep a keen third eye, you will know how to move forth through this passage with ease. Okay, so let's move on. Yes, this is spirit rising. So it's almost like mist off the ground is what I'm seeing. And I know that's really cliche, but now I'm being brought back to the light. So I think the lights want to talk to us. So the lights were spirit rising. The allies. My God. This is incredible. Look at that image. You guys, seriously, look at that. We've got the forest, but look at those lights. Allies, that's what they are. That is what is rising. And we may not feel that way. It may not feel like there are allies. So let's go ahead and read the allies. Oh my gosh, I am like vibrating so much from this. The allies. The path ahead seems only a barren wilderness, an unreachable horizon, but there are others who have been here before to walk the unknowable path long before you. They gather now to witness your becoming, knowing no one is ever ready when they first begin. We are formed by blank canvas and open roads and the light of each new day. In the meantime, they are here. Holy crap. Oh my God, you guys, I'm like blank canvas, well before time. Oh my God. No freaking way. Look. There's a literal eclipse on this card. I just got chills. I am shook. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, let's find out. Can we get a little bit more context into the allies? We are not alone in this journey. That like the number one thing is we're in shadows and it feels very scary. Or very overwhelming. It can be really, disconcerting or discombobulating because it's just not something we're accustomed to. But we have guides, we have help, we have friends. Spirit is rising up as our ally to help navigate us through this, to help us move through a pathway that is right for us. And it might not feel that way because we have not done this before. We, as a collective of humanity in this form, have not done this. But that does not mean that our souls have not done that, have not been through this. It does not mean that our guides have not been through something like this. It does not mean that the earth does not understand because the earth remembers well before we ever existed on it. Take it to heart that there is so much more help for us. I am so caught by the freaking eclipse right there. Holy buckets. Okay. What do the allies want us to know? There. We have shoreline on the edge, on the shoreline. Dip your toes in the sand. But then we have wonder. And I was just thinking about where the path of the eclipse goes, and it is in the Aurora Borealis area. It's like the northern part of Canada, I think over Greenland a little bit. Wow, wonder. They are here to help us learn that when we go through transition phases, as restless as it seems, there is a wonder and a awe to it. There is this thing awakening back within us so that we can see the magic that is everything. That image, that vision that I got in and of itself was so incredibly profound for me because it's been a long time since I've accessed it. But when you look, and she's in water. Move beyond the shoreline. Move beyond the shoreline and trust yourself. Trust your guides. Trust this process. Yes, it's heavy. Yes, it's chaotic. Yes, there's absolutely like constant confirmation. You can argue as many things as you want about the outside world. Any jaded, cynical argument you want to make, Spirit's confirming. Absolutely. Yeah, these things are happening. Yes, it is that bad. Yes, it is that chaotic. Yes, it is that frightening and overwhelming. But when you move through this all, when you want to move beyond it, there are spirits rising up to help us. They're elevating us or rising us up as well so that we can witness the wonder that is this time and how it was brought into our collective unconsciousnesses that we have been being birthed into, holding within ourselves without realizing completely that we hold it within ourselves. There are so many things within the collective unconscious that we don't know, so many amazing things, because we have had to navigate our way through so many shadows. We've had to step back and worry about being watched, worry about eyes on us, and worry about making sure that we're navigating our way through life just to survive, that we haven't been able to break into that field of wonders, the land of treasures that exists within each and every one of us. But the collective unconscious is collective. And it's there. It holds all those treasures. That's why we see movies like National Treasure, because there are those things, but we conceptualize them into the physical form, and Spirit is saying it's inside of you. It is in the physical form, but it's not outside of yourself. You create it outside of yourself because you contain it within yourself. And the ancient civilizations understood that, and they knew that, but they also somehow knew that we were going to forget. So now we get to remember. Now we get to remember. Wow. Okay. I feel like we need to move to the solar eclipse. I don't know why I needed to do that. On the back of this, we had the fate card. Whoa, too many. Sun, moon, cosmos, spirit. Thank you. We've got portal. I'm showing you those, but I'm not reading them. We can use our own discernment. All right, the solar eclipse is our shadow self. Remember that the ancient peoples were terrified of the solar eclipse. Terrified. They didn't understand it. And that's understandable, 100%. The sun is our life-giving force. So when that gets blotted out in the sky, of course it's going to be fearful, not to mention the fact that it intensified the rays of the sun. And right now, we're going through this phase with the sun where the sun is flipping. It's changing its polarities. And it does that, but it has never done it in the climate that we're in right now, or with the planetary alignments the way that they are right now, with everything going on. So our shadow selves are coming to light through this solar eclipse. Really sit with your shadow self and realize the number one thing that I've ever learned about my shadow self is that is the part of me that wants the most love, that needs the most love. So let's see, shadow self. The selves you've shut away and banished are waiting for you still. The selves you locked eyes with once and swore never again. The selves you glimpsed in the corner of your eye before slamming the door and deciding it was only a dream. The selves that exist only as the most distant, unseen echoes after another barred the door on your behalf. They are all alive, waiting in the darkness, not the monsters you fear, only fractured wholeness, longing to return home. And I am brought again to the last collective reading, to Taurus, and to even my own journaling of this understanding that we go through these things in our lives and we fracture ourselves, or someone creates so much harm to us that part of us fractures, and we can have the perception that when that happens, we lose those pieces, or those people take those pieces. But that's never true. Those pieces still exist within us, and we are always whole. We just have forgotten how to welcome our wholeness and welcome those pieces of ourselves to say you weren't bad, you weren't wrong, you weren't the cause of someone else causing us harm, hurting us. You were worthy of love. I am worthy of love. Yeah, cosmos. Because you are one with the cosmos. You are one with the entire world. So even the cosmos have shadow aspects. Even the sun, even the moon, they have shadow aspects to them. You see that throughout their mythological archetypes. Everything has a shadow. Everything has a light. And if we did not have those things, we would not have night and day. Night is but the shadow of the sun. We don't think of it that way because we think that it's because we aren't facing the sun. But imagine, if you will, that we just are in the sun's shadow in that moment. Let science fall away and let spirituality come in. The cosmos, the shadow of the cosmos is recognizing that you are beautiful. It's recognizing that these energies are there and it's heavy and it's hard to navigate through, but they're there to help us heal. They're medicine for us. I always think of the retrograde planets like RX, like prescription. They're our medicine. So this solar eclipse is saying we're going to see the shadow self through cosmic energies flowing through. See the shadows of these cosmic energies. And the cosmos are helping illuminate the shadow self within ourselves, but also within the collective. So as we move closer and closer towards it, that energy builds. So our job, our mission here, our edict, if we so choose to take it, and I take it, I'm sitting here right here with you guys, is to meet that energy with our light, with our wholeness, with our shadow, with knowing all of who we are and loving all of that so that we can meet this energy head on with love, with understanding, with kindness, with generosity, with unconditional love and acceptance. Wow. Okay. So this is the final one. This is the call. The call. What is the collective being called to? You've got to be kidding me. Wholeness and reunion. Look at this, you guys. Literally, wholeness. What I was literally just saying that. That is why I knew all four of these messages were four parts of the same. I feel like we need the second half of the wholeness. And the thing is the second half of the wholeness is still wholeness. It's always whole. Okay. I'm not taking these. It's the Mountaintop and Oasis, but I'll show you them real quick. And on the back, we have the Crossing, which reminds me of the Five of Pentacles card. Again, back to that Cancerian energy. This is interesting. Mars retrograded through Cancer in the beginning of this year and last year. That might have been a significant time frame for you. Plus, you might want to check Gemini's transit in. I can't remember when Gemini moves into Cancer. I kind of want to say it's this year, but it might be next year. Okay, we have Vespers, sanctuaries, sacred places. Let me get a reminder of what Vespers is. I feel like that's really important for us here with the card's context. Okay. The evening, the shadow, contemplation, reflection, holy darkness, vigil, and quiet. Vespers is evening holy time, a space for contemplation, ritual, and prayer beyond the daylight hours. Sorry about that. My daughter's calling. I will call her back in a minute. To look more closely at what's being reflected back to us in the still, dark waters. There are times to step into the fullness of light and color, to embrace the gifts of triumphant vibrancy, dazzling brilliance. And then there are times to step more deeply into the magic of a different kind, to hold vigil in the stillness, The shadows illuminate what waits for you there. Wholeness. We're going to read this real quick. You are already full, already whole, even when shadow obscures all but a tiny sliver. To see ourselves as we are, we learn to see in the dark, beyond what light can touch. What is real is no less real in shadow. That thin, shining crescent is only an illusion. See, that's why I said, what if we were in the shadow of the sun? What if the illusion is we're rotating? What if the illusion is this or that? What if the illusion is separation, division, differences, distances? What if we all have always been whole? So in that time, in this phase, in this energy, it can feel uncomfortable. It can elicit fears. It can bring our shadow selves up. And we're asked to step into the holy sacredness that is our shadow, that is the shadow of this realm, that is the shadow of the world, and bring all of ourselves back to wholeness, bring this world back to wholeness one by one. One by one. That's all it takes. One person to make that change, one person to accept their own wholeness. When you accept your wholeness, you bring ever more clarity to the wholeness within us all. You change the world in that moment. That is why the spirits are rising up. That is why there is that restlessness, because they can feel this awakening to wholeness, this understanding and love for the shadow, because it has been written for so long. We are here to do that, to heed the call, to hear the signs, to see the symbols, all of it. All right, my loves, this is what I have for you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for everything that you do in the collective. And my goodness, universe, this was one of those readings that I am just in awe of. Your presence here, your willingness to be very, very upfront with us and very clear with us, to keep these messages flowing with constant confirmations so that we don't back down from this mission, and that we fulfill that of our soul, that of our hearts, and that of this world that we came here for. Thank you. That is all I have for you guys today. I now have to go and call my daughter. If you guys liked the video or it resonated and you guys want to support the channel, awesome. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. I will see you guys at my next reading. Bye.